The clip that you just saw, it was actually images from a screen capture of the International Space Station's live stream. And as you just saw, the International Space Station is circling the Earth, and we see this UFO in the background that begins moving upwards. Although this is really just a trick of perspective. The object may not be moving, it's simply that the ISS is moving around the Earth, which gives the effect that it is moving, when in fact it's likely standing still. As the object begins to go out of sight, we see this flash of light, this beam of light here.
Esta es otra toma en la que nuevamente de manera persistente aparecen esas extrañas sombras, pero nos encontramos nuevamente estos objetos que parecen como ascensores, puntos de luz que se elevan. Mírenlo usted detenidamente. Esta es otra toma a la anterior, distinta a la anterior. Obsérvelo. Fíjese. Está en otra ubicación y también es como una especie de ascensor que se eleva. Cerca de él hay otra serie de esferas que parece incluso que dejan un halo, pero desde luego esta es evidente. ¿Qué son esta especie de luces? En esta parte inferior encontramos otra. Obsérvela detenidamente. Aquí hay otra. ¿Qué es esto concretamente? Lo que decía José Escamilla, alguna especie de ascensor dimensional que nos mostró en múltiples fotografías y que se repite. Aquí hay otra, por supuesto, más difuminada, pero lo vemos en demasiadas ocasiones, como para pensar que esto, bueno, pues obedece a algo que no tenga, digamos, que tenga un sentido claro. No lo tiene. Vemos que nuevamente aparece ese extraño, no sé, elevador, ascensor, sistema dimensional de salto. Se puede ver ahí claramente. Incluso aquí abajo parece que encontramos otro. También muestra su halo, que llega hasta un punto concreto. Y aquí vemos incluso, me atrevería a decir que otro. No sé, es demasiado persistente. Se ven demasiadas imágenes. Como que alguien estuviese utilizando alguna forma de salto o sistemas tecnológicos que desconocemos. Vemos aquí como que ese halo, esa ascensional, iba desapareciéndose a medida que vamos hacia la parte inferior. Aquí ya no se ve. Como que saliese de alguna zona montañosa, de esta montaña, de esta ubicación, quién sabe.
In 1999, William Burroughs wrote a book called This New Ocean. It's a non-fictional account, supposedly non-fictional account, of the space race. If you look at the cover of that book, you'll notice that he has a picture of the Earth's horizon on it with the moon above. And on the cover of this book, there are two black running parallel lines that climb up from the Earth, and they pass the moon on either side, paralleling it. It's interesting when you go and look at the ISS and space shuttle imagery of the moon from low Earth orbit. When you begin to enhance those images and begin to attack the black area of the sky that appears to be solid black, and there are different filtering techniques you can use to draw that out, you begin to realize that those lines that are on the cover of his book actually are appearing in these photographs. And they don't appear once or twice. You don't see this effect once or twice. You see this in many, many, many dozens of photographs. They're just of the moon. They appear when you enhance the image. And Obviously, Burroughs knows something that the public's not privy to. He's really just a classic outsider-insider, very much like Andrew Chaikin is. He's a guy who knows what the truth is, but has agreed to perpetuate the lie rather than to reveal what the truth is, for a whole variety of reasons. Burroughs does a fantastic job of presenting to us exactly the propaganda and the storyline that the powers that be have been selling us as being the truth for decades. And it gives the reader the official historical cover story in brilliant details. He's someone who is most definitely in the know. There are also frames in which some of these lines appear to be behind the moon, where you see the line rising up and being cut off as it hits the lower limb of the moon before re-emerging again on the exact opposite side of that interception point, where it continues on its very straight linear path. And in these cases, you can see that the lines do not transit in front of or across the lunar disk, but rather it's the opposite. The moon appears to be transiting and covering these lines. So what's going on here? Why do all these NASA ISS frames of the moon taken from LEO show these parallel lines, and why does this book cover mimic this same visual?
Were the Egyptian pharaohs and clergymen of their time aware of subterranean places that had celestial functions? Judging by hieroglyphics that were discovered in tombs of pharaohs, such as Ramses, one can see a collaboration between what the Egyptians described in their time as a stairway to heaven and what we are seeing now with these space elevators emanating from Earth.
Working at a missile range in White Sands, New Mexico, Dr. Lake Mirabeau carefully hones tiny prototypes of a vehicle unlike anything ever put into space. Mirabeau imagines spacecraft propelled by powerful laser beams.
A high-powered pulsed laser beam comes on the backside here, reflects off this parabola, and focuses inside of the engine here. The light is focused to such a huge intensity that it just breaks down the air here and blasts out a very strong shock wave, and in so doing propels the model forward.
Mirabeau is using a laser developed by the now defunct Strategic Defense Initiative, known in the 1980s as the Star Wars program.
Copy, 10 seconds.
The laser beam is made up of infrared light. As the beam pulses, it strips air molecules of their electrons, creating an explosive plasma that propels the craft from below.